been acting kind of haywire, you know. Uh, see what's going on. See if anybody comes through. But anyway, like I was saying before, um, I did that video about old Skip. That's hilarious. What's up? What's up? I'm back. So if you can hear me, let's talk. I did the Skip Bayless video. What's happening? What's happening? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Right here. Because I can see your words. So I'm right here. You got a question? Hit me up. Trying to make sure. Yeah, well, he should be. He should be. He messed that up royally. You know, um, Greensboro and all of them were. I seen different. Um, I decided I won't go. Say I said go ahead and do the video. I mean, I try every night. Sometimes when I finish talking to you, because I go back and do my research homework, I'll sit there and try to watch whatever topic they talking about without falling over on my food. You know, sometimes I'm like, I'm sitting there trying to and it's like, yeah, LeBron and this, and Sherman's like, yeah, yeah. And then, but Rachel Nichols is probably like the freshest, but she doesn't have enough bite. It's a flat show. I mean, I have never seen a situation. Yeah, he is, but most of them are. Okay, you want to ask me who I think's a bigot on them networks? Most of them. Most of the white boys who have black folks on the show, it's this lethal weapon buddy cop syndrome. Now, I am not saying Tony Kornheiser was, but when Rob Michael Wilborn, he said, I learned so much through you. I'm like, well, all due respect, Wilborn was still in school, grad school, whatever school, and you had already been talking to black athletes. So what you not understand? See, this is what cracks me up. I said, oh, because you see them, you know. But that's all. That's what I think. Who Gibson was a goof? What you mean? What you mean by Mel Gibson? Well, he's a sidekick to the sidekick, you know. You know. Well, what I was saying, while I was making that out, is like the black buddy cop, white cop. That's what I meant that's what I was trying to say when I say lethal weapon. He ain't no goofball Mel Gibson right now, just talking about Skip, but they have always had this white guy, nerdy like, didn't know, black guy come in and you showed me something. This is a little game they play on the networks. It's a little game they play. So, you know, Yeah, and he was very mean to them too. He was very mean to the two white girls. Jenny was cool. I like Jenny. Now Joy was at Joy. That's inevitable. She was gonna blow up because Joy is one of those kind of people that she not just gonna be some sidekick like just just a lipstick and a face. And I say that I don't want nobody saying, "Oh, you sound sexist." No, it don't because some of them they just a face in the windows, window dressing, and some of them just sit there to prance. So she wasn't gonna be that. Jenny was cool. The other one was kind of mild mannered, but Jenny had that fight in her though when she got tired of him. Yeah, but that's how she got over. I mean, just saying. Everybody, sometimes people get up on these shows. They don't have a lot going on for 'em. I don't know. She was stacked. I liked her all right, but she didn't really want to stay on it. I don't blame her. She got off that plantation. She ended up getting a gig got hooked up, journaling. But she kind of a bite to her. She was cool for a minute. I'm gonna tell you why, because I told you Jamie I used to that mess was fixed. So, but I mean when back then, you bring it way back too. Cause wow, she she got out of there. I wonder if the heat she got out there. She got her hooked up. She got hooked up with CBS. She became like a serious broadcaster. I saw a video of her playing pool once though. Now tell me why you don't think it's a good show no more. Cause I like how you say it used to be a good show. Now tell me why you don't think it's a good show. I'll give you my take. Tell me why you don't think it's not anymore. I'm curious about your take. And I'm gonna tell you why I stopped messing with them turkeys. On there when they tried to downplay Barry Bonds and they were still trying to hype up Hank Aaron and the way they talk, I was through with them. And Wilborn do be giving me some tap dancing sometimes. He go a little bit out of his way. Go a little bit out of his way. And I thought they were cool once upon a time, but then that I forgot. I can't think what it was, but it just that cemented it. I was done with them. Too political. When you said too political, do tell. And more gossip. Give me examples. Let's talk. Let's talk. Let's do that so the audience can hear when you say that. Because I want you to go into detail what you mean when you say too political, more gossip. Do tell. I used to did love the toss it up section though. But that's been a long time ago though. Long time ago. Oh yes, 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 yes. Thank you. See, I got out of them way back before that. Okay, so yours was more recent than mine. I don't know what I think the Barry Bonds thing with Hank Aaron, and that was some episode I was watching. Oh God, was that about 7, 8 years? Something happened, and I said, "Oh, I'm done with them." That was it. So by the time you get to Kyrie, you can't talk about Jewish people, and you can't even, oh, so he probably said he was just a young teenage and he didn't know. Yeah, okay. Yeah. That'd be a reason enough to be done with him. There's nothing about Jerry Jones I can defend. Age. And they know it. They tell you they tell you that he know what he no one of that age and that era is gonna buy what that man is talking about. Jerry sat there and lied about that thing in Arkansas. You know good and well them black kids was trying to get to that school. He know what was up. He know what was up. I know he's had one major black person on the personnel on the field. Oh, where'd you hear that at? If I him, I do want out because it's a no-win situation. He ain't gonna get no extension unless he puts one in his hair. He ain't get no more extensions unless you see him with a mysteriously Jerry curl or dreads or something. He ain't get no more extensions. They done with him. Dallas, because certain man in Kansas City named Patrick Mahomes. That's three reasons, maybe four trips can kind of. I mean, if I'm not lying, uh, where's that team at? Let me see. Who is that team? Who is that team? Hmm. Help me out. Who is that team? Who? What team is that? Hmm. What team is that? Help me out. Is it the Rams? No. You and that Steeler. They not what? Did Jerome Bettis and Antonio Brown come back through that door? Did I see Troy Polamalu come through the door? Come on, man. You gotta get that one out your system. They ain't got no defense, yo. They ain't got no defense. Now, see, he he go there, it leave Micah. I mean, no, they got no defense. They got offense, but their defense sucks. You naming two teams that now that okay, you getting warm now. You starting to cook there. Okay. Choices. Yeah. Anybody else? I know your brain working. You know how you work. Come on now. Give me about four more teams. I know you got it in you. You got one with Minnesota. You don't go to Atlanta to win now. Him and Raheem Moore. Uh, 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 depends on what the receiver. I got to see what all they got. They look alright. Minnesota is your best pick so far. Can he catch Alvin Kamara in time? Do their defense still look legit? Okay, I got this question for you. Is he better than Derek Carr right now? What's up? What's up, Charles? What's happening? Is he better than Derek Carr right now, Ted? I, I might feel that one. Give me an answer. What's up, Charles? How you living, Chuck? What's up, man? How you doing? What's up? He, he ain't better than Derek Carr. He ain't better than Derek Carr. Derek Carr don't even get to the playoffs. Or as Mata said, Jim Moore said, playoffs? You telling me you don't think Dak Prescott's better than Derek Carr? And you saw the Saints just miss the playoffs this year and stuck with him and Jameson Winston. So, okay, what's happening? All right, Campbell. What is he missing? So, New Orleans, I mean, the New Orleans thing, I'm waiting for you to just say New Orleans. Oh, God. Don't say that. Oh, that one hurts. What's happening? How you doing? Good to see you, Charles. Good to see you. He ain't better than Derek Carr. David Carr. He ain't. Oh God. Oh Lord. That one hurts. That one hurts to you. That hurt. That hurts. That hurt. I think I could get some Pepto behind that one. That one hurts. Oh boy. Ooh, that's a hot take. That's a hot take. Ooh. That's a hot take. He ain't better than no Carr. Who's inconsistent as I don't know what. New Orleans should have been at least in the wild card. Now come on now, you tripping now. You tripping. You tripping. Cause Mighty Quinn didn't even really suit up. We don't even remember his. I had to go do some NFL where oh God, he played with Cleveland or something. It didn't even last long. I don't even think he got his jersey dirty 1 week. You tripping on that one. I mean, don't get it twisted. Dak's a bum, but still, he better than a lot of these cats. But when you said that Carr one, that cracked me up. Even though there are some people who probably will think that Carr is better. Some will. And the thing is when Carr is accurate, he's as good as Dak. He just don't be accurate enough. That's all. He's a bum. He be half-timing. That's why the Raiders got rid of him and Jameson came in to relief. And he got skills. You talking to new cars? Not yet. I mean, I've been in some electric cars recently, but nothing, I've never had a discussion on this forum either. We have never discussed on this live stream about cars and stuff. I mean, if you want to talk about them, that would be a twist. Been riding electric cars though for like 20 plus years now, almost. Yeah, I've been on electric car since 97, 98. Had a good old Buffalo Bills fan. She used to come and scoop me and my boy up. Okay. Okay. Come on back, Ted. You got to come and tell me top 10. I know it's by default, and then the NFC is probably top 3, but you can't tell me that Carr is better. You got to come up with some heat on that one. Give me your reasons why you got Carr over him. Make me understand, because New Orleans was 8-9 and Dak was 12-5, so make it make sense. What did I not get? You know you ain't taking Baker Mayfield over Dak. Yeah, but he's just so inconsistent. His interceptions. The problem I have with him is he's erratic. I know what he can do when he's on, but he's when we talk about bums, he's exactly what I talk about when he feels like it. Remember when I say he feels like being good? He got the right coach. And Trevor, to my recollect, has probably got one less postseason win than Dak, so you might be on to something. He just got to stop picking on all them picks and just be consistent. And they got to finish up better than they did last year. Cause he got a chance. He's a big, tall kid. He got a chance. Hey, he be a big year for him though coming up though. I could see that. I tell you what I told you in 2 years, he got a chance to run the league in the NFC. If anyway, in the NFC, he got a chance. He big, strong. Yeah, y'all get the pieces. Next couple of years, you tripping now. You tripping. You tripping. You had me going until you said that mess. You got one guy that was a runner for an MVP, legitimate, and one guy who can actually wield his team. Got more postseason wins than Dak, but I don't know what they matter though. I mean, now Dak ain't better than Josh Allen. He ain't better than Josh. Uh, yeah, people friendly. You know, you're looking for people to talk to. That's but that go without saying. That goes out. But you know what? He's probably the smartest bum I've ever seen in pro football history. And you gonna agree with me. No, they didn't. He sucked. No, he didn't. No. Kurt's the most smartest bum I've ever seen because he finds a way to get top dollar for being a bum. And he makes it work. No, Russell stunk, yo. He stunk. He got bougie, cocky last year. And Sean Payton was brought in to get him up out of there because they made a mistake. They had a bum head. They had a never was head coach, and so why what? Why what? Tell me what the wow is about. Please tell me what the wow is about. I want to know what was dead man walking. Christmas Carol did him a favor, got him up out of there. Should have probably got him out of there 2018. Hung on to him about 2 years too long. Got to Denver, as a Hall of Famer, and I like him as a man, as a stepfather. What he's doing all right that, but as a quarterback, he's done. Stick a fork in him. No. Mm-mm. He threw too many bad passes. He been erratic. He stat pad, and he just ain't got the goods no more. It's downhill, yo. I don't like Sean Payton's behind, but I can't even argue against him running him up out of there because they couldn't do nothing with Russell. It wasn't happening. And I don't even like Sean Payton, okay? Just put that in perspective. Sean's overrated, you know. I can like you. Like I like Russell is a cool cat, personal on that. But his quarterbacking is in the trash. He has some decent stats and stuff, but he can't lead nothing. He missed some bad reads. Now I think Sean Payton was overacting with some of the antics with that last year. However, Russell was shot. There you go. When you had a bad name, you're gonna get pent. That's a pent name right there, Jared State. That's a special. And they be finding the most wackest fourth tier quarterbacks in Denver. I mean, they find them left and right. Like when they strike on one, they come up with four of them that just are garbages. Brutal. Brutal. But I think that they're gonna looking for the draft. I think they'll look to find something. quiet as kept and low key, that could be a place for Kyler Murray. Somebody gonna go to Denver. Somebody will. Somebody will. I'm not buying that it's just gonna be, you know, they're gonna find some way. But Jared's steak was horrible. They're looking for something. I know they're looking for something. I know there's gonna be something that they're looking for. I just can't put my finger on it. But yeah, they would depart with Russell, and I ain't mad at him. No, you see, Russell lost his confidence week 1 of 2022 because when Hackett in that game against Seattle in his return, and they went for that, they didn't let him go for it. They took the ball out of his hands. And it wasn't the same after that. Yo, what's up, Elijah? What's happening? How you doing tonight? How you doing? Feel free to jump on in, and if you got any questions or any thoughts, let's talk about it. Oh God, you really digging now. And you talking about the junior. And God, I ain't heard that name. Oh man, I ain't heard that name in ages. Ages. Eh, you're talking about the junior because you're not talking about the senior. And his father was underrated. Greasy was good for Miami back in the day. But the kid, he stunk. I remember that turkey didn't that he had a little bit of a career. Little bit. Little bit. Oh God, I gotta scratch my head on that one. I don't know if you ever watched old Soul Train reruns when Don Cornelius goes, and from the Soul Train history books, this is Bob Greasy. That's because they got that guru head coach who think he can put anybody back there and think that if I stick this cat back there, we're gonna win. And it works until you get to what? The NFC Championship game or the Super Bowl. It works like a charm until they get to money time. When they get to money time, they walk out with their head between their legs because they end up getting hustled and coming up short. NFC Championship game to Super Bowl, he don't look so much like a genius. He looks like shenanigans. Yeah, and I would take Tom Brady right now. What they got, that's what they're missing. That's in a nutshell. And I'm not saying that Purdy ain't bad because regular season and he legit, but that postseason he looked kind of shaky, kind of shaky. So they. I don't know how times you're gonna be the best team that don't win. How much chance you gonna keep getting? You know, John Lynch, you're getting kind of tired of excuses. I know I would be. Because I'm thinking y'all ain't gonna have but so many more chances before y'all get just, you know. Yeah. Yeah, I heard he told Brady thanks but no thanks. Yeah, made him take the blame for that overtime. I was That's so dumb. That was dumb. Wasn't his fault. But anyway, that's the problem that they face. Yeah, it could be. Because he didn't had four, you've been to four NFC championship games, two Super Bowls, and you choked three of those NFC championship, choked one of those NFC championship games, and you blew two Super Bowls. That's fireable offenses. An organization that ain't Frisco might keep you around, and you might get the Jeff Fisher Price 20-year hookup. But out in Frisco, your butt probably on real thin ice right about now. You're better off being an average or a lottery team than to go there and choke again. Because you pull that stunt again, you're gone probably as soon as Mahomes is hosting the trophy. You're fired. So yeah. And the thing is, he'll get picked up by somebody. I mean, they like I said before, if it was a lesser team with success, what they've accomplished in Frisco would definitely buy you a 15, 20-year career. When you got the two Super Bowls, you've been to four NFC championship games. So many people say you're close and you did that's a resume, but they, when you're a team that's had success. Yeah, but they don't I mean, I don't know, but they're gonna be okay. I'm not gonna say anything he need. He just showed me this past year that I'm not gonna say nothing. And when teams win a championship, that's a big deal. You win two, you start becoming kind of special. When you win three, you're in your own, you're like your different stratosphere. And so I'm not gonna say anything about that cat. So basically, and that's saying something in this day and time. I mean, you know, that's saying a whole heck of a lot. I mean, and the thing about it is when he did win the ring with Tyreek, Tyreek wasn't quite seen as Tyreek then either. Think about it. So, you put that in, you got to take that consideration. I mean, that just shows you, you know, so yes, that's what you do. Yep. You mentioned that to me the other day. Um, I'm not gonna call it. He had to take what he had to take. See, it's still countering the time too. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. So yeah. Okay. Okay. So going back to what you were saying, since I got everybody back, and like I said, sometimes this stuff be acting kind of funny. Yeah, I'm not gonna really make a big deal about the realignment in college football because I don't. Again, I'd have to see how things go out, what teams are stacked with, the quarterbacks. I can't really say. Don't ask me about Colorado. I don't know what Dion's gonna do. I have to wait and see how it all turns out. I'll know once I see the recruiting. I'll know. Oh, what happened? Because I'm gonna watch that and about it when I go to eat. What happened? Fill me in. I'll check that out. Let me know what the topic was. What he say about the Lakers and the Clippers, and was Shay cheerleading as usual? I mean, you know, okay, but well, did he? What was it about the Lakers and the Clippers? I'm just curious. Let me see.
And home improvements and create a home that you love spending time in. You might feel warmer with new energy.
Okay, I'm on it now.
James almost got a triple double before letting. You can't beat the Denver Nuggets. That's their kryptonite. And to me, that's the measuring stick for me. I just look at them against Denver, and to lose 8 straight to the Denver Nuggets is just bothersome for me. And if we're talking about a legitimate threat, well, the reigning defending NBA champions are in the West. You got to go through them, and you've shown no willingness or ability to beat them. That's where I'm at with you guys. Oklahoma City had a tough game Sunday night in Phoenix. Then they turn around and they've got to play the Lakers on a back-to-back. They have the worst shooting first half of their contextualizing. But let me speak. The problem that I have with you and others is that you make concessions for every other team in the West, not name the Lakers. If the Lakers had lost on a back-to-back, you would have said they're old and tired. Well, let me ask you this. Who are Phoenix wing stoppers on the defensive end? We saw LeBron hunt Kawhi Leonard. We saw LeBron James do what he did.
Okay, I'm
Who's
watching.
going to guard LeBron James for the Clippers? Who's going to guard LeBron James for Phoenix? LeBron James didn't hunt Kawhi Leonard in that fourth quarter. Clippers switched more than 18. They put him in the pick and roll. They put him in the pick and roll. Daniel Tice messed up the first three. They messed
up the switch on Horn's chest. They messed up the switch on Horn's chest. Then he hits 2 transition threes. Then he hits a 3 over Daniel Tice. Now all of a sudden they're forced to double. He was not hunting Kawhi Leonard. Shannon.
Let me ask you a question. If Kawhi Leonard is what, hold on. If Kawhi Leonard is what you said, why didn't he fight harder over that pick? See, that's what Kobe did. That's what Jordan did.
Smartest coaches look to exploit.
Okay.
They can't beat those guys. Now I understand that, theoretically speaking, look, but Shannon, it's nothing wrong because you do this, Shannon. There's absolutely positively nothing wrong with me looking at one team. Looking at one team, Shannon, and
okay.
Like this, yeah. They can't beat those guys. Now I understand that, theoretically speaking, look at everybody. You say to yourself, they can be had. I can look at Minnesota and look at them as an elite defensive team who are not that great offensively, but against the Lakers because the Lakers are so deficient.
Yeah, I'm watching it.
At times with Minnesota, the Los Angeles Lakers. Every other point that you're making about the other teams the Lakers could go up against in the West, I get that, but I'm looking at them against the team that swept them, and you're still getting your ass kicked by them all the time. That bothers me.
So let me ask you. So if they make it to the Western Conference Finals, you wouldn't deem that as a threat? I'm not. Now, if they go out in the first round, that's one thing. But if they make it all the way to the Western Conference Finals, as they did last year, as the 8th seed, that's still LeBron James, that's still Anthony Davis, and you're right. If they can shoot the ball like they did. Look, I get told, now see, this is what I get told, nobody really plays defense on a nightly basis. It's all about exploiting matchups. It's all about putting the ball in the basket. Now, all of a sudden, the Lakers don't play defense.
Escape that.
As it pertains to the Lakers, they don't take a lot of threes. So they're behind the 8 ball a little bit there. They give up a lot of threes, and teams shoot a high percentage against.
They do that.
They're bottom 3 in the NBA in giving up threes and bottom 8 in the NBA in 3-point percentage for their opponent.
Okay. So I got a chance to just catch it. Yeah, there was obviously tension. The only thing that he made sense is that he talked about the fact they're not a good 3-point shooting team, which is true. And they give up a lot of threes on the perimeter, which is true. And they have moments, depends on if the refs give them called. It goes back. I got to call it like what it is. The refs is what keep the Lakers alive in some of these games against certain teams because they don't have that depth. That's why I said they looking for a Trey Young. They looking for somebody that can be instant offense to score. They don't have that. So he makes some valid, what I call subtle basketball player points. I get what he's saying in subtlety, but he was wrong about how he came in Shannon because Kawhi did not finish that game up good the other night. Clippers choked that game away. They should have beat them because the Lakers are fit to be had. I'm not sold on them. I think they are a average team at best. They 5 games over 500. If you're this late in the season, you're not a championship quality team, and they're not. But they can get hot, beat some teams, but they can be had too. So take your pick. But it's the way he says it. He does come off condescending, though. He's got an uppity vibe about him. Snot nosed kid. So that is a side of him that I detest. But I told you before I wasn't the biggest JJ Redick fan, no way, so. I'm not big on Redick. I think he got hooked up. I don't like some of his takes. He can articulate all right, but I like Tim Legler better. And I don't care for McAfee.
Well, first things first, breaking news. I mean, you were nice and you were calm and you had a smile on your face when you were talking about Doc Rivers and the Milwaukee Bucks. I mean, that's good. I'm with you. I'm just messing with you, JJ. I just meant you a first thing, baby. You know I'm gonna let that slide. You know I'm gonna let that slide, JJ. You know I'm gonna do that. But anyway, seriously, the bottom line is this. I disagree with you.
Okay,
the
good.
only reason I disagree.
No, I'm not big on that. Good. I'm not. I'm not. I don't feel McAfee, and
I think
I
that
don't feel it.
there's a closer gap from the Clips to the Nuggets than there is from Milwaukee to Boston. That's the only reason I'm the gap from the Clippers to the Nuggets than it is from Milwaukee to Boston right now.
Steven, I'm gonna have to disagree with you. For the first time in first take history, JJ Redick and I agree on this topic. I agree. I think it's Milwaukee. I think it's the Milwaukee Bucks, and let me tell you why. And I think it might be a blessing in disguise that Giannis is out and Dame is able to find his game. So now you
Yeah, but he gonna know his P's and Q's. I mean, because he was talking about that man's father,
and we know what Giannis
and
represents. They're gonna be. And see, I don't really trust. I don't trust
that's
the
what
Celtics as much as you guys
that's what
because
blew
I
him
saw
up.
them in the playoffs last year. I saw what they did. I saw them give it up at home. And you want to say Jason Tatum, but they shouldn't even been.
See, because I just think that JJ is what they, he's he says enough stuff low key that they'll let him slide. That's why he could be a politician because he says enough stuff that they'll let him slide. So, well, because Austin don't have nothing else to because he's going to defend his dad, but you know I understand that. And he looks at JJ Redick like a third tier. He's thinking I'm a no tier, but you a third tier, but only because my pops hooked your butt up is the reason because you played for Duke and because my pops hooked your butt up. Because if it wasn't for the Steph Curry emergence of hitting them 3-point specialists, your behind wouldn't even have lasted half as long as me. That's probably what Austin wanted to say. You know, I understand that. You know, he ain't getting no more jobs. They mess with that kid at that scores booth. They're not gonna touch him too soon. He messed his situation up. In case you ain't see that video, he got fired from that little situation. So I don't think you're gonna be seeing Matt Double Barnes anytime soon. Matt Bad Boy Barnes. Delusional. He messed himself up. I don't want to hear him talking about ball. No way. Shh. Fake thuggery. More like scrubbery. But scrubbery. Want to be thuggery. More scrubbery. Crack me up. Trying to break all bad. No one took that turkey serious. I did too, because I like the interview with AI. That was good. And I like the white dude that be his sidekick. They be cracking me up. Shaq's got some coolness. Well, Shaq stayed cool usually, man. As long as he ain't on TNT and he ain't promoting whack pizzas and some of the other stuff. But when you get the real him, yeah, that's the Shaq I like. And when he had Kelsey's brother Kelsey on there, that was good. When he's talking real. I love the Dr. J interview. I did a couple of takes from it for a couple of my interview videos I did. Love that. Love that. And they're a good blend together too. Real good blend. See, that's the only person right now who could save Skip Bayless's wax show. But that never gonna happen. Because she would go all upside his head and slap him 3 or 4 ways. Oh yeah, it's a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke. cats get lazy because they don't want to play against certain people and they don't want to get exposed, and they sit around and do what they want to do. And let me put it to you like this: if they'd have never came up with the 65 game rule and this or that, these turkeys would have probably missed about 40 games. They just don't care no more. So, and I understand, like I said, yeah, yeah, yeah. You can't compare the two. I remember watching basketball and I ain't getting that. Not the same. Yep. Again, different era. No disputing what you saying. You see somebody like Kawhi Leonard, and he sat out so much. No, he belongs as one of the 75 greatest players, but that shouldn't have been the case. I know some people coming out with his sir. He didn't forget his resume when he was in his prime. Reminded, and I don't remember it.
Has allowed Derek White to elevate his game. Derek White and Kristaps Porzingis. You talk about the Celtics last year. They didn't have this version of Derek White last year, and they didn't have Kristaps Porzingis. So my question to both
Okay.
of you, because you brought up something. Okay. You brought up the gap between the Celtics and the Bucks. The reason I said the Bucks, because I think the Bucks are more likely to get to the conference finals. Not saying the Clippers can't. I'm just talking about the state of the Western Conference versus the state of the Eastern Conference. Now all of a sudden you've only got to win one series. My question to you two is the gap created now between the Celtics and the rest of the NBA.
Okay, cool. Sorry about that. I don't know what's going on.
The Nuggets are really the only team, it sounds like,
Correct.
that you feel like are in the same tier as the Boston.
That is what I said. I said that that's the only team that was on the same tier. And I'll let Shannon answer the question. But go ahead, Shannon, because I got a question for JJ as well. But go ahead.
I did, and that was a discussion yesterday. But even with that being said, I still think Boston is a notch above the Denver Nuggets. And I know Denver went to Boston and beat them in a close ball game, but the way they're playing now, JJ, and I use the analogy, Kristaps Porzingis is like adding a couple of drops to my cognac, shaved by Laportier. It opens it up. And what he's been able to do, he's allowed Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown to expand their game. They have more space because, as you mentioned,
Okay, what's up, Carlos? Good to see you, man.
25 feet and drain
He's
the
Oaktown in the house. How you living?
He can punish him down low. So I do like what you're saying, but I still believe Dame and Giannis is going to be more than a handful for him.
Only quick question I had was that you brought up Marcus, Marcus Smart. You said Marcus Smart, right?
What's happening, Carlos? Good to see you. That is a good question that they had on First Take. I was just watching it. More likely to reach the finals, the Bucks or the Clippers? Who you would think? I would say the Bucks. I think the Clippers got a tougher road getting by Denver. I'd say the Bucks got a better chance. I think if their defense is accurate, well, we'll see. We'll see. Kawhi is the X factor. Can they stay healthy? Can they stay motivated? Can they get what Russell can do off the bench? Can Zubas come up big? You get your chance. You get your chance. We shall see. Um, next year. Next year. I don't think this year because they just added um, Harding. But next year, I'd say a hot seat. They could get one more year. Unless, of course, you think that they got four guys who should know how to win. And out of them four guys, only Kawhi's got the jury. Harden ain't been to a final since there was a thing called Twitter that was around. That's the last time he's seen a finals. Westbrook too, and they were puppies back then. Paul George ain't never seen one, so Kawhi is the only one, and Ty Lue. So yeah, what's happening? I said that when the whole thing with Ja went down like what 50 games ago. Oh, okay. Let me get on that. Originally from the East Coast, down lived in the South though. So what's up? What about you? Kid, y- upstate New York originally. Kid, you got a good take there. I'm not gonna say you wrong. I said about yourself. Okay, Bama's in the house. How you living? Are you a Crimson Tide fan? How you roll? Give me some background. Kid could be on the hot seat. Well, yeah, if you believe in Luca, you're a big Luca fan, so and Kyrie, and they made make this deal. You kept boasting about the size, so you might, yeah, Ted, you might got a point. It is kind of put up or shut up. I don't know if it means going to the finals, but they definitely got to get 3 rounds this year. If he don't get out the first round, he's definitely scorched. Gets the second round, he might get a pass to next year. Anything less than getting 2 rounds deep, because they died expectations, and Luca is considered Luca, so yeah. Behind, I mean, Embiid got MVP, Jokic got MVP, Giannis, so he's got to be next in line. So what you got to do? You either got to win it, you got to win MVP, or you got to get a chip. He's not gonna get league MVP this year, and they don't look like they got to go for the chip at this stage. That's the only thing that can put him over. I heard I heard of the newer cats. Not mine though. Give me joke. I like what Luca does, but Jokic is another level. I mean, those guys, oh, when they're in sync, it's poetic. I mean, they are poetic. I like watching Jokic operate the top of the key because he busts you with that break that window open three, passes, whips. I mean, he's like a coach on the floor. So he don't do much. What did he do the other night? You were going on the bottom, and they got spanked by Boston. He ain't really. No, not really. Not as a third wheel. You look like I'm supposed to like him. I saw his daddy play, and he ain't making me forget his dad. I know his dad could get off the couch right now and drop about 10 to 12 without trying. I'm just saying, Now, unless Hardaway Jr. morphs into Jalen Brunson, be scary. You better hope they don't get a Ginobili Parker type guards and a couple cats off the bench because got a chance to be scary. But not when no one says nothing crazy. He ain't the second coming. We'll see. They'll earn their stripes in the postseason where they're concerned. I'm gonna tell you something right now. You can hype up these cats now. I also want to see what they do come money time. See, that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm not talking about, and I'm telling you right now, it's Denver and it's everybody else. 2 through 8, y'all have at it. Now. And if he is, he's at it's Jokic, it's SGA. Giannis can be in the mix. Then maybe Edwards. I don't quite think he's because to be in the MVP convo, you gotta, you know, and I can still see Jokic and they still coming up top in the West. I still can. And that's the only team that I trust in the West, really. What's happening? What's happening? CK, what's up? On the rim last night. Like, that's all I saw last night. What's happening? How you doing? They gotta come a big. See, when you mention these in the Super Bowl, you gotta come up into another level. I can't just be impressed with the moment. You got to bring it when it's top line. Where you are. And I still think they need another piece. I think they're missing a piece. I don't know what that means in English, so but that's weird. But I think next year too, they want to be able to get on the ball because if Victor Wamba gets something over, and look, this is the thing though. If you're KD and you go back to OKC, if you're Devin Booker and you go to San Antonio or you're Bradley Beal, they got the kind of guys that if they were to go one of those type of teams, that could be a scary team. But put together, they're one and done. You're right. You're right. Not at this stage. Booker and him would be nice, and not at this stage. SGA would be scary because SGA would be front run, KD be on the wing, Chet Holmgren. That would be a scary three. Yes, it would. You put D Book there because he likes to kind of like way he paces the floor. That would be a scary fit. But left to their own devices, no. Mm-mm. No, no. You have to have a disciplined type of guard. The Booker thing is better. Trade with AD, he would be more than that. That would work. You got to put him in a place where he actually gets some minutes. He'll get deductions. Probably. Imagine that, Pop get long in the tooth. Think about Wemby, as long as he protects his body, doesn't do anything dumb, and keeps working at his game. I think if he can make this team legit, that'll probably be considered his greatest accomplishment. More so. But he already is. Who told you he wasn't? He's got five. Tell me. I mean, he's got a regular titles as Pat Riley, and I know that Field doubles him up, but and Red Auerbach. But look at that. I mean, he's way ahead of her. He's you know no one's close to him right now. Well, Kerr's one behind him, but you don't look at Steve Kerr the same way you do look at Pop. That's just the fact. And I got him in the greatest of coaches ever. He's in my top 4 or 5 ever. Pat Riley, I'll give you, not Spo though. I'll give you Pat Riley, but not Spo. Spo ain't got the depth that Pop won in different ways with the Spurs. He did different things. And this whole thing with Jimmy Butler, they still missing a superstar. Now Riley, yes. No, 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 no. That's some disrespect right there. I like he's a better offensive coach than Spo. Spo defensively can give him a run to an extent, but Pop offensively, it's like 7 plus, could shoot, big, playing out of his mind. Jimmy plays very good. I'm not saying he ain't, but he ain't better than no Pop. Mm-mm, mm-mm. Even as a Heat fan, I'm not gonna say nothing that crazy because he hasn't done anything to merit that. He got a chance to. He needs another ring or two, but he'd have to win another ring or two before I'd say that. If he can win with Jimmy Butler a ring, okay, I'll give you a case then because that'd be the tiebreaker. I think accomplished. Duncan, and you go to Kawhi. So I do guards now. If you ask me, Spo versus uh, Steve Kerr, I'll take Spo because I think Kirby looked like he lost. He can't make adjustments, but not over Pop. No, that's not even fun. If you give Spo the talent that he already got two bam, he'd have at least a couple more rings on his fingers. Getting the Rick Alderman from because Don Nelson was the guy that got everything set up. He's like the Buck Showalter type. And Alderman, you can make that case didn't finish, but Alderman did get teams to the finals. He did make a case in Sacramento. He could coach. Took a veteran team in Portland to the show, and he took a team that was on the come up in Sacramento. Don Nelson had years and worked with a lot of greats and didn't get it done. Isn't that really good? A very good coach didn't get it done. I gave Alderman Gundy, man. Jeff got a team to the show. Fratello was an average to right coach. To an extent, but Jeff Van Gundy got stuff done. Yeah, you know. But these cats that you talking about, you going into the second, third tier band, and I'm like, okay, but I'll give Van Gundy that. He could coach. She did. Fratello, once you figured this thing out, it was a wash. So oh, that's a good one. Oh, ooh. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because again, it's the Jimmy Butler thing. It's the Jimmy Butler Bam thing. That man showed he could coach. I mean, you got to remember, and he beat Giannis and them. Think about it. Now he didn't win, but he's been to one more finals than the Celtics has. Been to one more finals than Milwaukee has. And to do that with because there are tiers to this. When you have a guy like Dwayne Wade and LeBron James under that, he's like that, and Bam is like right there. That says something that you can take this team, and then you got Gabe Vincent and Strauss, Duncan Robinson, Tyler Hero. You know, so I have to give him that. I don't think Rudy T could have done it with that, but T was bad though. His championships in Houston were impressive. Those back to back. So that's a good question though. Okay. You always say that, but I don't think I am. I don't think I am. He's the one who said that he was better than Trey. He wants to be treated like a superstar. He has to come up big. He should be able to be a big three with Jimmy Butler and Bam. How am I tough on him? And Duncan Robinson did not played him a few times. I'm not tough on him. I'm saying what Pat got put your big boy pants on and come up big. Yeah, his injuries. I don't think I'm tough on him like that. I just want to see him be successful. If you play for Miami Heat, you got a reputation. That's not tough. That's real talk. So let's see what he can do. Because I mean, if he can do it, they can finish it up. Let me put it to you like this: if you think I'm so tough on him, let him come up and stand up over Jason Tatum. It's time to put up a shut up. Let him stand up over Hilbert and any of those guys. I like him all right. I mean, I think he's a fit. He came up big for him last year in the postseason, so I think the problem is is that they got too much of the sameness and playing B. That's why Porzingis was brought in. So they're trying to get size so I don't get caught being perimeter lovers. But if he's overrated, then I'm not gonna. Okay. See that Ted? The hero's very divisive. Need I say anything else? Need I say anything else? I mean, I'm torn all over with him because he been there for a minute now. We've been to what? I mean, you got opportunities to. He has areas to his game that Jimmy Butler can't get to, and that's why I'm tough on him. If you must know, because he's got areas to his game that Jimmy Butler can't get to, and if he becomes a legit third option, which he'll look like a second option, and but he doesn't always get to that, and he can be frustrating. Like, remember Malibu's Most Wanted? He's like Wade County. And he just be, you know. So I want him to win because he's with the team. I just got issue with how he goes about certain things. That's all. Straight a Heat fan will tell you the same thing, that they just be kind of like, come on, man, bring your game. Bring your game. You remember what? What you remember? You know, when it was a low, because if you're talking about post Golden State, I understand why. Anything after 2018, I get it. I wouldn't touch KD after 2018 either. Last 5 years, no. You know, not even today. And that's not to say he ain't got about three strong years probably left in the tank. If he's healthy and motivated, he got a chance to pass him. His peak value prime, that's gone a bit. Dream player. If I could pick anybody for the Heat to get, and they Giannis would be my pick over. KD would be more needed in Golden State. Okay, play with Steph because that's where he played his best ball. Be needed it. No, he wouldn't be needed in Miami because he needs somebody that's an alpha that can cover him. And Jimmy Butler and Bam ain't gonna cover him like that. They don't score like that. That's why situations with the teams, you're looking at him as a guy that can come in and score a lot. He he needs someone that can create their own. I know before you say about Kyrie and Harden, well, everybody rotated So, but they don't need him right now. Younger, athletic. He ain't that dude no more. 7 8 years ago, I'd say KD 2016, 2017. No, not like that. Not today. Mm-mm, mm-mm. Oh, damn. He did. It's a different league. I mean, it was 15 years ago, man. I remember round that Steph Curry was a fresh puppy. You had Derrick Rose. You had, yeah, you did. You had some guys. It's not the same no more. And two guards, you still had Dwayne Wade and Kobe. Kobe was near the end of his, you know, but still. I'm thinking about '09, '10. So they still was top tier. Kobe still a couple more years after. And Steve Nash was still, you had to mix and match. That's a true. I'm not even going to argue with you on that. But that's a long time ago. He was good. He wasn't great. Don't throw him in there. He could score, but he wasn't. 'Cause if I would have kept him and Steph and Clay together, they do. Or at least come off the bench like Barbosa did once Golden State got Barbosa from Phoenix. Because you remember Barbosa was a motor. That guy was a motor. Second tier. Good, not great, good. Had some out of body moments, but not great. Good, not great. Let him tell it though. He talks crazy. Some things he makes sense on, some things he sounds off the birds with. That whole thing about the European players need to go away to bring defense back to NBA was hilarious. Yeah, Sweet Lou, that's what they used to call him, Lou Williams. Yeah, but Bosa was fast. He was moving. An era, different era. Patty Mills too. Parker Ginobili, all that. I mean, you know, that was a different era. Different era. Not the same no more. So you know, like I told you about Gilbert, I remember Tim Thomas was decent. They But I know what Ted was getting at. I mean, you had a lot of these guys that even that were good that you would be considered great today because with the no hand checking and the zone and the well, Dwayne Wade's one of them. Jordan's one of them. Kobe was great. Um, Sidney Moncrief, um, Dennis Johnson, underrated. Joe Dumars never gets his due. Yeah, for steals and stuff, I give him his due. You know, I wouldn't necessarily think that he was like a craft. He was thrifty with what he did. You know, he was. You know, let me not forget the glove. The glove was way up there. So there you go. I tell you, one guy before he got ran out the league was Michael Ray Richardson. That was the only guy I ever saw that could straight up deal with Magic. The only Michael Ray was the only one that could pick Magic's pockets. The only one. That's back when they used to do back crowd. Well, there's a lot of them with that. I mean, Scotty was one of them, no doubt. Uh, Havlicek, what's Hindu? I remember he was. Um, Durant, LeBron get love in that regard. Dennis Rodman, of course. Yeah, he should be sinking and he did cocaine, all that stuff. But I'm just on the court when they played the Lakers. This old video, and he was picking on Magic. That's when Magic peak prime. That's when everybody was kind of like blown away how Magic had poked. He had hands before he got sent over to Italy. He had hands. He's one of those guys of your certain age and certain time you remember him and talk about him. And he would have been scary with Patrick Ewing and Bernard King had he kept on playing. All due respect to Derek Harper, John Starks, Mark Jackson, Michael Ray was the truth to me. I will have any New York Knicks fan who wants to debate and debate. Feel free. You know a New York Knicks fan want to come here and get at me, fine. But I'm taking he just self-destruct at the time. That's all. Now you bringing the heat now. You bringing the heat. That man was one of my favorite players growing up, Andrew Toney. He was strong. He could shoot. He was very explosive. He was known as the Boston Strangler. They were more scared of him than they were Jordan. He just got hurt. Feet gave out on him. But you're right. You're right. That combination would have been one of the scariest ever. That's one of them woulda, coulda, shouldas. Because Tony was a beast. Strong, quick, could shoot. Had spring in him too. It's funny how you mention certain people, and it's like you almost like tapping in my mind because that was one of my favorite players back then. I don't talk about. I did do a video. I've done some stuff on him, but I don't. Only people that kind of know me from back when know. Oh yeah, he was one of my favorites. He was one of my favorites. And Charles back then, yeah, he could. Charles back then, behind the back, coast to coast, when he was no fear, no filter. The problem is that Dr. J. Moses was old, and the squad they had was old. Bobby Jones was old. Most cheeks, and you could have got him run. Could have been something. Yeah, he was. He's healthy and focused. He could have probably been one of the 50 greatest. I really believe that. That's how high I thought of Tony. I don't know if I'd say that about Michael Ray, but Tony, yeah. But Michael Ray was a bad boy, though. Make no mistake about it. Yeah, no drugs. They did. They they just did some real janky things, and that was it. And they squandered a few of his years because he could have been MVP candidate easily. He's in the mix. He was easily in the top 5 mix from 87 to 90. He played his upper tier ball with Philly. He was polished in Phoenix, but the best of him was in Philly. That Philly Barkley was no joke. He was a Mack truck. Acknowledgement, because when they really hit that window, like when Derrick Henry was at his peak and prime with Tennessee and Ezekiel Elliott the first couple years in Dallas, that's how Barkley was in Philly. Underrated passer. You know, he was bad. He was bad. You're not gonna hear me say otherwise. And had he won a ring or two, he probably been top 12 ever, because he had undersized, played out his mind, could score, and was respected. And and I hate to say this, but I only say this about guys that didn't win. I don't say this about guys that won. But had he had Karl Malone's mindset and wins, yeah. I don't say that about guys that have won. You're never going. I don't say that. You can always say a guy could have won a ring or two more, but guys win. It's kind of hard to argue against it because they didn't have great success, because the odds are stacked against you. They really are. And you're gonna come to find out, there ain't gonna be but so many guys that's gonna actually win multiple rings and be that great. So it's a tough league, no matter how dominant you are. Make no mistakes about it. Barkley was a beast. He was a beast. And that Philadelphia era of him, forget about it. I think he settled for finger rolling, and I think that he just didn't really push them to get the right kind of guard. I don't think he really put his, they probably could have made a couple moves. And I think that he loved the limelight, being Mr. New York, you know, because he probably looked at himself like Lawrence Taylor in New York, and he looked at himself as being, the Yankees were stinking then, so and I think he just didn't take it to that level. I don't think he had the drive. I always thought that he kind of was like looking for somebody else to hands, could pass, but I don't think he had that fortitude to be in the dude. And I know he was all upset when he got traded from Washington to Sacramento and how things turned out. Probably messed him. He was already put in Saudi Arabia, from Golden State to Washington to Sacramento. Now you laugh now. Well, Washington is still Saudi Arabia, but being in Golden State and being in Sacramento, and you're used to being in Atlanta. Okay, so they needed a center. One of the reasons Jordan's success, then there was a dominant center here to go through. They tried to get Ronnie Cycli, 98. He refused. said, I ain't going up to no Utah. I'm staying in South Beach. I really believe if they had a legit center, that could have been a different finals. Because they were fundamentally sound. They just didn't have the finish off. That was a different NBA. I really do believe. And I think that the Bulls, when Phil would throw Pippen, Ron Harper, the bench, Kukoc move them around, and Rodman, it canceled what they did. Gotta remember, they were playing with a three-man team with Stockton, Malone, and Jeff Hornacek. But they played great defense. They just didn't have enough offense. And the Bulls were able to nudge them. But I think with a low post presence, then Stockton may have been even more scary. And Malone would have been too. Yeah. I'll be in the kitchen. I'll be in the Okay. I had the next person. He needed a balanced team. He was stuck with Tyron Hill. Dikembe was about 58. And they had Roger Bell was a puppy. They didn't have the components. You know, it was remarkable he got to the finals and got a game against them. It was. I mean, it wasn't even funny. So, you know, this is a good new topic. Appreciate it, Ted. Well, like when you're brave, thank you. Thank you. We can do this. And if you don't agree with me, you can tell me you disagree. But the Ewan thing, I think he needed a point guard. He didn't go out and push management, and he kind of got comfortable being Mr. New York. I think his ego. Weber, baby got hot. I remember Sacramento. He's like he always hiding behind somebody. I never felt like he wanted to be the man, and that kind of hurt him. Stockton Malone, it was a center to me. I think if they'd have had one more piece that had kind of put them in a position, I think they win. Iverson's was just not having. He always said he never had another go-to cat, which is true. But I don't know too many people that would have sat there. Had who he could have gotten. Because Larry Brown basically took the same formula that he had with Philly to Detroit. And you're not going to tell me that Chauncey and Rip combined were better than Iverson, but they did have Tayshaun Prince. They had Ben Wallace. They had Rasheed. Same formula, except at that time, Shaq was still Shaqing, but Kobe wasn't passing, and suddenly D Fish and Fox looked old, and Karl Malone was old, and Gary Payton didn't fit. So I think that's the reason to me. And sometimes you don't win. This is a great topic. We could try this for all the sports, and we can try this in different topics too, because this is definitely fresh. I don't put it as a P why they didn't win. The P history may have been different. Nash, I just think Phoenix didn't play full court basketball. They only had a 7-man rotation. Wow. They don't really play defense, and they don't play half court basketball. So good luck with that. Marino never had a running game, and their defense wasn't that stout. So those things. Randall Cunningham, ego got in the way, but I think that the play call on offense kind of hurt him a bit. So it kind of got in the way. Neek never had the right cast. He never had his Scottie Pippen. He had decent players around him, but he never had, you got to have teammates. You got to have a team. And then you have to be willing to make sacrifices. So that's the thing right there. Close that or how he had Grant Hill and he had Yao. When he went on talking about we get a next Shaq and Kobe, I'm like, you gotta be kidding. You got to be kidding. You gotta put the work in. And I remember when at Detroit series, he said, I see him round two when the Pistons woke up and came back and beat him. So he never was the same after that. One of the most talented players I've ever seen. They never had a top tier receiver. And I think that we'll never know what he would have been like had he had all the components. Because he only, remember when he came in, he had a couple 300-yard passing games, and it took him like, what, 20 years to get another one? Again, style, we got to have components, you know. I think those guys, quarterbacks got to have the right pieces in all of the phases to win, more so than any other. Quarterbacks don't have it. That's the difference between winning it all and not. Everything got to be level. Um, they seem to just choke over their own selves. Really, they had 2 World Series. The Marlins. I still don't know how they lost that one. I don't know what makes it was smoking. I still don't figure that. Somehow the pitching let them down. Well, they were one dominant pitcher, and then they somehow they always went up against someone that just kind of caught them. You know, those are the two mysterious teams of the '90s in the American League, if you ask me. Because for all the Yankees' dominance, those were the two most talented teams I saw in the American League in the '90s. If you want my honest opinion, Cleveland and Seattle, and you ain't lying, they should have won 2 each. They should have been multiple champions. If Toronto could win, those two teams should have had multiple ones with the Yankees. That is a mystery. 40 Yankees, 2 Cleveland, 2 Seattle. Just saying. Could have been. Uh, their case probably was, I want to say it was probably, I want to say the pitching. When I think back to that era, uh, if I'm recollecting, you know, usually comes down to pitching. You got to have dominant pitching. I know someone's going to come at me about Atlanta, why they ain't win more. But they did kind of shortchange themselves in the postseason with their pitching. Bats were legit. No pitching. Because Andre Dawson, Ryan. Funny thing, Willie Hernandez, I don't think they were they weren't better than the Cardinals back then. I got to put my recollect on. So, it always usually comes down to pitching, especially for that particular era. I remember 40 years ago when Detroit won the World Series, they was tearing booties up, and their pitching was on point. Now, you asked me the Mariners the last 15 years when Felix Hernandez should have been running neck and neck with Clayton Kershaw. So see these things, Carla, because I get ready to go eat of 85. That was a great team. I didn't even, Cleveland in 97. Uh, no hit, no bad support. And the Giants of 93. When he couldn't make it because Atlanta won with Freddie McGriff. I never forgot that. So yeah, almost what? I'll be on ready. So anyway, I'm gonna get ready to call tonight, and it was good. Yeah, we had a great chat. Everything is cool. Appreciate everything. Gotta go get me a meal. Probably won't be back on late. I'll come back tomorrow, but we're gonna keep this one up. This is a good one. So keep coming with those tips. Appreciate everybody to stop through. Peace the best. Stay warm, stay safe, stay healthy. The next time I catch you, peace the best. I'm out.